It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, both at home and also in diaspora. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another exciting episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. I am Adejare, your number one real estate investment specialist. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to all the needed information about the Nigerian and of course the Lagos state real estate market. On Property Matter, we have talked extensively on Ekpe. We've talked about the typologies of land in Ekpe. We've talked extensively about Ibeju Lekki, talking about how to identify land titles in Ibeju Lekki, how to unravel a fake land document. We've talked about some of the things you need to know and what are the criteria of a good C of O, and of course the major component of a governor's consent. We've also talked about the Nigerian short-let market. We've talked about what you need to know, the importance of location, as well as some investment statistics that will help you, situate your off-plan or your short-let market at the best. We've went further to talk about the off-plan market, criteria of a good off-plan, the developer's integrity, ability to deliver good and of course solid infrastructure that will add value to your investment. We've talked about how to identify a manipulative real estate transaction. We've talked about how you can unravel a fraudulent real estate developer. And today I'm going to be talking about possible manipulations that is being used, to sell real estate to you by some, of course, fraudulent real estate practitioner in Lagos, Nigeria. So if this sounds like something you'd like, and of course we want to appeal to you, a lot of people have seen our video for the first time, a lot of people have seen it for the second time, a lot of people have seen it more than 5 times, and they get to subscribe. Please help us subscribe and of course encourage your friends and family to do so. So we're going to be talking about possible manipulations that is being used by fraudulent real estate practitioner, and this is an episode you want to be. So just take your time, relax, and I'll be back immediately after the short commercial. It's an awesome day to you, beautiful smart real estate investors, and I'm live here at Peak Luxury Court in the heart of Monastery, Shongotedo. Right here, I'm coming to give you guys a development hub. As you can see, our football pitch is almost done, and our basketball court is almost done. So this is where you get a plot of land at Shongotedo in Monastery for 35 million if you're going for a 600 square meter, or you can get 300 square meter for 17.5. Now let me tell you one thing. Monastery is the hottest real estate zone right now. If you have a land for Monastery, if you get land for Monastery, now you be boss. Now you they call landlord. You no matter whether at 300, I've been at 500, I've been at 600. Land and land. So, and of course, when you look at this now for Monastery, if you want to rent 2-bedroom apartment now, if you don't get anything 2.5, 2 million, you can't get a standard apartment. So instead of paying that kind of money for rent, why don't you buy your land and build your house? The funny thing we say, we have 12-month interest-free payments. Initial deposit for 300 square meter is 3 million. Initial deposit for 600 square meter is 5 million. And you can spread payment for 12 months without interest. Tell me, which other developer can give you this kind of offer in Shongotedo where you can do buy and build? For more information, my number this screen, call me. Inspection are every day. Bye. I'm super delighted to be on your screen today, and I want to say a very special thank you to all our viewers, all our subscribers. I appreciate the fact that you're taking up time to watch our video. Of course, you must have separated some, important period of your work hour to watch us. We appreciate this. We want to say a very big thank you for your continued support. And I also want to appreciate everybody that have patronized us and everybody that have sent us referral here on Property Matters. Thank you very much. We don't take these for granted. In case somebody is wondering, what exactly is Mr. Adejare talking about? I am a real estate expert, and I help investors both at home and also in diaspora to get the best real estate investment for them. And what we do basically is that the reason why we stand out from others basically is that we don't just say buy. We invest a whole lot of time, a whole lot of resources, and a whole lot of manpower to ensure that your investment is safe. And we are always emphasizing on the safety of your property. So we engage a lot of manpower. We do a lot of environmental due diligence. We do economic due diligence. We do document due diligence. We even go as far, doing a lot of confirming the land document or the property document. So This is what we do. And of course, if you're an investor and you're looking forward to make a safe and of course profitable and rewarding real estate investment opportunity, you should be talking to us. So on today, I said I will be talking about possible manipulations that is always used by some fraudulent real estate practitioner to make people do the wrong real estate investment. So today is going to be an elaborate explanation, of course, on property matters. You should know that we don't always give less. So number one of the manipulations that they play is what we call the game of deceit. And in discussing the game of deceit, I'm going to categorize the session into different aspects so that you can have an accurate understanding of the analysis and the explanations I will be giving as we proceed. How do they use the game of deceit? Number one is the location. I've seen several instances whereby some real estate practitioner will tell you that a property is located at a particular region, and they will tell you within 2 to 3 or 5 or 10 minutes you will get to this particular property. I can recall several times when we used to do Ibeju Lekki inspection. Instead of the fact that the real estate investor or the real estate practitioner should come and plain, okay, this property we're showing to this dear investor is located at Odiomi. This particular property is located at Igbogun. We traveling from different perspectives will know that we have this idea that fine, we are going to Odiomi today or we are going to Igbogun today. So we won't make other appointments with other investors and other people who may also need our service for different things. In most cases, they will tell you that the property is 15 minutes away from Dangote refinery. Of course, the honest, or should I say honest, one will say it is 30 minutes. And in most cases, you will drive 1 hour, 30 minutes, and you have still not gotten to where this property is. In some cases, some people will tell you the property is in Lekki, and for crying out loud, you will drive, you will pass Lekki, you will pass Ikate, you will pass Aja, and you're almost going towards Shongutedo, and you ask them, there's a difference between Lekki and this. So they've been a lot of deceit using locations to, of course, attract the interest of investors, and of course using it as a manipulative tools in selling real estate investment to people. In most cases, most of these real estate practitioners are fully aware of the fact that most of these investors may be abroad, and some of them are buying based on trust. So in most cases, there was a scenario that happened late last year. A dear woman bought a property from a particular real estate investor, for the particular real estate practitioner. I mentioned investor, apologies for that. So this practitioner told this dear woman that the property is just 10 minutes away from La Campagne Tropicana. And this dear real estate investor, of course, she was in the US when she was making this particular investment. So when she bought this property with the intention that, wow, for a property that is just 10 minutes away from La Campagne Tropicana, selling for 600,000 naira per plot, to her, of course, it's a good and a great deal. So this dear investor, with the hope and of course with the conviction that the property is 10 minutes away from La Campagne Tropicana, she decided to buy 1 acre. So let's fast forward to earlier this year. This dear investor now said, okay, fine. She called me and she said, Adejare, I bought a property from a real estate practitioner somewhere around La Campagne Tropicana. I would want us, okay, to go check this property so you can tell me what we need to do so we can kickstart the process of documentation. I said, fine. So I gave this woman an appointment. Now, based on the fact that the real estate agent told us that the property is just 15 minutes, away from La Campagne Tropicana, I was like, okay, fine, plus or minus, in less than 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, we should be back. And of course, I can attend to other activities we went. So we left for the office. Now, when we were driving, we passed La Campagne Tropicana, we passed Igbogun, we passed the boundary between Lagos and Ogun State. And of course, this dear real estate investor was very, very disappointed. And we found out that the 15 minutes from the La Campagne Tropicana was actually 1 hour 45 minutes away from La Campagne Tropicana. So this has always been the case, okay, of some investment or experience that some people have. This woman got disappointed and she was like, she wants a refund. Of course, unfortunately, the company or at that time could not afford to pay her refund, so she had to put that property on sale because what she thought she was buying was way different from what the real estate agent sold to her. So possible manipulation number one, location manipulation is one thing you need to be aware of as a real estate investment. As a real estate investor, you need to confirm if the location is exact, if you are traveling miles, so that when you are making a real estate investment decision, you will not be throwing money into the air. So that is manipulation number one. Then manipulation number two is in the case of house purchase. Okay, now they use the game of deceit to also sell house. I said I'm using deceit, and of course most of the explanations I will be giving today will be based on several experiences I've had, because like I told you, our dear investor, that I have over 6 years experience in this industry, so we have seen a whole lot. Now there was this scenario which happened it's even fresh, I think 2 months ago, in the city of Ajah, and there was this real estate there was this property owner that wanted to sell his 4-bedroom fully detached duplex. Okay, so the woman, of course, the investor said, okay, fine. Of course, this is a woman that if you want to do anything, she always called my attention to it. She was like, okay, Adejari, what actually is the worth of a 4-bedroom fully detached in Ajah, plus or minus? When you look at the cheapest you will see is from 75-80 million, and they said this real estate investor wants to sell his own for 45 million, and that it is a distress sale. I was like, okay, fine, distress sale. At that point I had my doubt, but you see, until we confirm, okay, the reasoning for the sale, and of course we get some things that we needed, that's when we make a decision. So when we got there, the investor was there, good for the woman. I was also there, of course, some of my surveyors and some of my team members. Now when we got to the house, I asked them for the document. Of course the document was presented, and of course we got the survey of the place, and of course the property, according to them, has a governor's consent. Now let me tell you how they play the game of deceit. Now the game of deceit will now lead me to the next point, which I'm going to be talking about: document falsification. A whole lot of people falsify land documents or property document when they want to sell. So they presented the survey of the house, they gave us a governor's consent, and I looked at it. Now the whole thing looks good. So in the industry, you have to be very careful when you are making any form of purchase. In most cases, they will tell you it's almost sold out, you have 5 days to price increase. Dear ladies and gentlemen, real estate investors, both at home and in diaspora, please don't buy anything in a hurry. So I said, okay, fine. So we saw the documents. Our lawyer was checking some papers. Of course, they discovered 1 or 2 things that are legally not right in the deed and the contract that was given to the buyer that wants to sell. So my instinct just said, pick coordinate of this place. That was what my instinct told me. Pick coordinate of this place. So I thought, okay, fine. So we brought out our machine, we picked coordinates. Lo and behold, dear real estate investors, both at home and in diaspora, we discovered that the coordinates that the building that this dear investor wanted to buy was way different from the coordinates that was on the survey that was presented to us, that is meant for that property that was on sale. So when I started this, I didn't notify those people because I don't want them to look, because many of them call me spoiler. I don't know, I'm not a spoiler, but the thing is that when I see the truth, I'll tell you the way the truth are. So if you are making a decision, that decision will now be on you. So you won't say I didn't do what I was supposed to do in checking those things and making sure that everything is intact. So when I saw those documents, the woman wanted to pay instantly. I quickly hinted her that she should give us like a day or two for us to verify some things we saw on the property. So I told her, madam, please don't pay yet. Let us check 1 or 2 things. There were some things, there are some irregularity I've seen on the survey and on the coordinate we have here. Now to fast forward everything, we found out that the coordinates that was on the survey was not the coordinate on which the property was sitting on that duplex. The coordinate on that duplex was not the coordinate on which the house was sitting on. So there have been instances, of course, a whole lot of miracle happen in our Nigerian real estate industry. So we found out that whoever must have sold the property to the man and the man has stayed in the house for several years and he didn't bother to check. We found out that they imported some a coordinate of a land that has governor's consent. By the time we charted the coordinate we have, we found out that that land was was on the committed land. So the woman would have lost 45 million if we have not done this. So in most cases, they do document falsification. In most cases, when they give you the land document, please pick coordinates. Ensure that the coordinate correlates with what is being presented before you pay. This has happened in different. I've had several experiences of when they like a document of a land or a property, and you pick a coordinate, you find out that they are contrasting each other, and you find out what is going on. So that's the next point I'm talking about. Land or document falsification is another manipulations that happen in this industry. So you just don't jump at a property because it is cheap, or you just don't jump at it because they're telling you there are 2 days of price increase, 3 days of price increase. You really need to sit down and thoroughly do your due diligence and ensure that what you're investing is safe. That is the next thing. So in most cases, the documents are not always what they have in most cases. So you really need to ensure that everything you are doing is intact. Then number 3, what you must now do when you want to, one of the possible manipulations that you obviously want to avoid is when a real estate agent is trying to hide some important information from you. In that same house, when I was checking, I observed some structural defects. Okay, and one of the things is, after we left, the agents left, I just told my surveyor, let's go back, let's check around that environment, because I know that there used to be a canal in that area. So when we drove around, we found out that there is a canal, okay, from that building. Of course, the canal is 1 plot away from the building. So we now saw that, of course, this could be the reason why that land in which the building was sitting on was a committed land. Probably government may be looking at the intention of either extending that canal or making that place a place where water can pass through. So these are some of the experiences we face. These are some of the discoveries we make, and when you are doing that, you need to understand. So there are some buildings or there are some properties that they are selling to you, and this property have structural defects. There are some things people are calling your attention to, and these things are they're having issues. Then another possible manipulations you should look out for in most cases is when some people are using fake lawyers as their representative. There was a scenario of a property that was supposed to be sold somewhere around that Ajah and Ibrahim axis. Okay, so this person came out, posed as a lawyer, prepared the things, and I found out that this lawyer was trying to speed up the entire process of purchase. And I found out, so of course, with our level of experience on the field, we know when things are going wrong, we know when things are not the way they should. So in most cases, we also work with our lawyer. So what our lawyer did basically was that he called our attention to the fact that there are some things this man is saying that are not correlating. So what we just did basically was that when we entered the house, we found out that there were a lot of structural defects on that house, of course, because we have engaged in a whole lot of house transaction like that. So what the lawyer was trying to do basically was that the lawyer was trying to speed up the process so that the woman can pay, and of course the transaction will be dealt with. But we found out that the lawyer was not even a genuine one. I think it's all this charge and pay, and the lawyer was trying to there are some places that when I get to and they see my face, if there are people that they really want to defraud real estate investors, they are not always happy. I don't know why. So when they say, hey, they have gone to bring this Mr. Perfect, well, it's only God that, of course, we are perfect through the grace of God. So these are some of the things that we need, you real estate investors. So I've seen instances of deceit on location. Real estate agents lie about location. Real estate agents lie about documents. Real estate agents lie about structural defects. In fact, in places when they want to sell a house, Some of them will only take you to places where they want you to see. A house inspection is going to be, it's supposed to be a general inspection whereby you check the house, you check the surroundings in cases whereby maybe there are drainage issues or there are canals or there are things that could affect the building. So in most cases they don't allow you check or do a thorough inspection, so that you will not discover the reason why they want to sell the property. So these are some of the things that that is one of the things that happens on site. And of course we've seen some of this experience. So when we encounter some of these things, we know exactly what to do, we know exactly how to handle it. The last and not the least, still on document falsification, was a scenario of a dead real estate investor in the United States of America. So he met this particular investor in Nigeria, and the lady said the property was behind that Amen axis, Amen phase 2, and of course the offer was so good to be true. So what this man did basically was, like he said, I have an expert that helps me handle my property. And of course I told the investor that if you want me to help you to go make some findings, please don't mention my name, because in some cases I usually become a nightmare for people who want to swindle investors. And of course we have the experience, we have the expertise, we know what to look out for, we know when somebody is trying to play prank. So you can't compare an experienced specialist like us to somebody that is just being told. So the woman said, okay, fine, that she's going to take us to sites. Unknowing to them, when I go to sites, when I go to check a land, I know what to look out for. In fact, I may even be with you, you won't know I'm picking coordinates. I may be with you don't even know I'm checking some things that could be issues. There have been instances where I've gone a lot of people wanted to sell land, and when we got to the land, I found out from our location and our GPS map that of course government wants to do a gutter, a drainage. I've seen instances whereby people are selling drainage, a place that a drainage will cut across. They're selling it to people. People are selling land that is very close to canal. They're selling it to people. I've seen instances whereby places that a road network will pass in the future, they're selling it to people. So people are investing in real estate wrongly without understanding the basic infrastructures that the government is bringing to this area. So a lot of people have invested wrongly because they've been manipulated. So when we got to this place, of course the location was awesome. In fact, what even happened was that these people even pasted the C of O number on the wall. But the thing is, they said they wanted to sell that land for 10 million naira. That axis, the least you can get in that axis, if the owner of that property is fair, not to talk of a property that has C of O, the least you can get in that axis is from 15 million to 17 million. But these dead people want to sell for 10 million. That was what arose my doubts. I said, okay, fine. So when we were having the conversation, I went to the 4 cardinal points of the land, picked the coordinate, and of course I collected their survey, and I snapped. I would have displayed it on the screen, but I don't want it to look like I'm exposing what is going on. So I snapped, the C of O number. The very first one we sent it to Alausa was that they said such C of O file does not exist. That was number one. So we collected their survey. Of course, their survey correlates with the coordinates that was picked on site. So our officers at Alausa checked, and they told us that that place is committed to Lekki acquisition. That land is Lekki acquisition. That means government has a plan. So the question is, where did you guys get the C of O number? What exactly? So I was asking the lady some basic questions. Like, of course, she called me to find out what was the result of the search. I was asking some basic questions. At some point, she got tired and said, "Oh God, your wala is too much. If you're not buying, someone else will buy." So these are how we saved somebody, because the man wanted to buy plots, 2 plots, 10 million. That's 20 million. Imagine throwing 20 million in properties that is not so. You need to understand that in this our industry, anything is possible. So these are some of the things that I want you to understand when it comes to real estate investment in Lagos. Okay, so you can't afford not to have an experienced person handle your property purchase, else you'll be throwing your money into thin air, which we are trying to avoid. So these are some of the possible manipulations, and of course, if there are several other manipulations that I must have forgotten in our subsequent video, okay, I will also chip in our discussion. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. I hope you guys are now aware of the way they used to do this mago in this our industry, and I know very well that you guys will be on the lookout for this. And of course, you don't need to stress yourself, just get us involved, and every other thing becomes easy. In fact, you can stay anywhere around the world and let us handle your property purchase, and you'll be glad. You'll be glad that you involved us. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. You have viewed another insightful and of course a good value has been shared. Respond now, reciprocate our support by what? Reciprocate the fact that you support us by subscribing. Subscribe now. It's just to click the subscribe button, and you turn on the notification bell, and and encourage your friends and family to do so. Until I come your way in another exciting episode of Property Matters, continue to stay safe, take care of yourself, and of course, involve us in your real estate investment if you don't want them to manipulate you. Have a nice day. God bless you. Bye.